We're back from another part of the world. It's the DivineBrothers.
Divine. We're moving up, literally, altitude-wise.
3,000 feet.
3,200 and something.
In the clouds, literally in the
As
clouds.
you can see in the background.
Yeah, man, it's wet here. We were in the driest place in the islands. Now we're in the wettest place.
Well, now it's time to make this podcast thrive. Since we're literally high up in the clouds. Where we belong. That's where I'd figure you would find divine inspiration.
It is a different mindset, that those cooler temperatures affect you, you feel it. Changes the way you do things.
Dude, nothing bigger than today, waking up, because the hurricane's coming. So it's wet, it's rainy, it's cloudy. You're like, I don't want to do anything. Literally drive 20 minutes to the beach, perfect weather, it's hot. It's just like, fuck yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of cool. It's just like, all right, I got my beach life. Then you come back up here and you're in the clouds.
Those beaches were impressive.
They were fucking impressive.
Like Maui,
transition.
I didn't truly see Maui.
It's
I was always in Kihei, but man, the beaches here are better, I think. Especially the big one we went to today. That was 30A. Like beautiful white sand. And there was another one. They were each one was totally unique. We went to this one called 69. There was like a beach forest. Like there were all these trees were in little shady spots and those super calm water with cliffs along the side. And
well, I think that's the cool thing. You got your shaded areas, you got your picnic tables, so you can make a day out of it.
Yeah.
People come down there and they chill for the day.
There was a house there too. It was the house of my gay dreams. It was amazing. It was lime green.
It was a kick-ass green.
It looked,
and it had a lawn.
Like, it's pretty bold. So if you're going to paint your house a color, like anything other than your standard
and to
shit,
shape it like that.
Oh, man, this was a bold move, but it totally worked. And it was right on the beach, and it had beautiful grass for you to just kind of chill on, an in-between area, like great decks looking out. And it was there on the fucking beach, and it was Islands Magazine. Like OG Islands Magazine.
It was kick-ass.
Yeah.
It was total kick-ass.
Man, I got to give that to Mom. Mom didn't get many magazines, but she always got Islands.
Islands Magazine is the adult fucking kids book for fucking adults. Oh, it's fucking all. You don't need to read anything. You're just like, oh my God.
Yeah, man. They would always have, like, every issue was like Bora Bora, or Tahiti, Maui. Just like any fucking island you can imagine. That was the front cover, and there were great pictures.
I started reading it like, oh, they paid for me to go over to Bora Bora. I woke up the first time, I'm like, yeah, whatever, bro. I was just looking at the pictures. I'm like, yes.
Can you imagine if your job is, I'm a photographer for Islands Magazine? You'd look at him and just go, well, you figured it out.
You figured it out, man. Islands Magazine.
Somebody's got to do it.
It's fucking unbelievable.
Yeah.
But today, going to those parks, we went to 3 close by, so proximity to us, the ones we'll be going to. Each distinctly different, not too big. One was kind of big, but just kind of a different vibe for each one, but it's about 20 minutes away.
Yeah, one thing they do well here is they got like the Parks and Rec surfers here in Hawaii. So like, when you think of a beach on the mainland, it's a beach, right? You just go to the beach. But in Hawaii, they like making grassy areas, like between the road and the beach, like a park in front of the beach. And there's little picnic tables, there's showers, there's bathrooms. Like, it's just shade, beautiful palm trees and well-trimmed grass. And it makes for a perfect beach day
experience.
Yeah. Like, it's not someplace you go until you're baked, from the sun. You go there and you could spend the whole day just chilling.
Today was the first day. We've only been on the island, 4 days?
Yeah.
But today was like, fuck, I'm really grateful to live here. This is pretty fucking epic.
Yeah.
I was just sitting there like, this is what I can do. Oh, Jesus, on the weekend? It's like, damn, dude, that's pretty awesome.
I sent our dad pics. He liked the pics.
Did he really?
He said, wow.
Yeah?
That looks better than I thought.
Yeah.
These are good looking beaches. Like, I was very surprised. I was genuinely surprised how good looking those beaches were.
Yeah. And it's interesting to come home to where it's cool in the clouds.
Yeah, it was hot. Like, I was sweating head to toe by the time we left the beach. As you get up here and you're just like, oh, I need my hoodie on. It's a shock. And it's weird because the altitude changed too. Your ears are always popping and stuff. I definitely feel it in my sinuses a bit, but I think that's probably good for you. Just to always have your body shifting and changing, and it's just like, what's up? What's going on?
So I mean, it is It's a cool town in the clouds.
Mm.
The big complaint we have on the town right now is the gym situation.
We were spoiled, you know.
Fucking, we were spoiled. Man.
Yeah.
I was at the club in Maui, which is just beautiful creatures walking in every day. You're like, oh my God.
It was shocking.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was the sort of thing where, like, when we went to this gym in Maui, this culty gym, we've talked about it before, but I am totally 100% gay. And even I was looking at some of these women just going, oh my God, are you real?
Yeah.
Like, the sort of women who very proudly wear, like, the tightest gym clothes imaginable, full midriff, full six-pack, and they just proudly are on
And that can make your
display.
day, too. You go and you're like, oh my God.
I know it
See
makes
that?
your
That's
day.
That's like a whole conversation for
That's
a day.
the first question. Okay, the reason we bring this up, we joined a gym here, you know, and the first question Chase always asks me when I leave it is, see any beautiful women? And the answer is always the same. No.
This gym sucks.
Yeah, this gym
Is
sucks.
fucking barely hanging on. Man, this motherfucker has treadmills. And I'm getting on the treadmill. And I'm like, this isn't 3 miles an hour. I'm walking
Yeah.
to warm up. I'm like, this is like 2. I hop on the one next. I put it on 3. It's like running 4.5. And I see these little stickers up in the corner. A little fast, slow, good. And I'm like, what the fuck is this, dude? Can't you calibrate your shit?
Yeah.
It's like, it's just like a crapshoot every time you get on the treadmill.
Every single piece of equipment is like from the 70s.
It hasn't been oiled.
Held together with tape, literal tape. And it's just, they're all these awkward movements. Like, you could tell it was the first prototype. You know what I mean? From a long, just, it's strange and awkward. None of it functions like the shit you're used to. And there's like, okay, not only are there no beautiful women, there's no such, I am an in-shape guy in this gym. I am. You know, everybody's like fat muscle. Like big dudes with guts who just lift massive amounts of weight. I don't see one like in-shape person, man. It's just, it's so different.
It's a letdown. I was hoping at least to see an occasionally attractive woman in there. I haven't seen one.
I'm thinking of leaving it because I joined the yoga studio in town.
Oh, yeah.
This is cool.
There's 2 yoga studios.
There's two.
Actually just one yoga studio.
Well, so there's the big one that everybody goes to in town, but I saw there was one closer to our house, and I was like, I'll go check this out. I'm the only one there. Only person there. And it's just this, you know, hippie chick, you know, she's got blonde hair, super in shape, all that sort of stuff. She's like, oh, don't worry, I'll help you out, whatever. And, you know, through the whole time, she's just dropping shit about her life. And come to find out, she has 4 kids, you know, and she's 40. I thought she was 25. She has the fountain of youth or something in this place, you know. But that bitch kicked my ass, like, thoroughly. We did this thing called booty yoga, like BODHI, so not booty, but booty. You know, it was maybe one of the most brutal things I've ever done in my life. My core is on fire. I don't think I ever want to do it again.
See, but look, you're her only fucking customer, and they're gonna push you to the edge. I fucking hate that about yoga. Like, I like a yoga class. Look, I'm an amateur. I'm easing into this, but when they do like a super advanced class, I'm just like, I can't walk the next day. I'm like, fuck this shit, dude. I'm not going back to that, man.
Yeah, well, you know, that's the problem with CrossFit too. You know. Yeah, I want to, you know.
Hate CrossFit.
I like yoga because it calms me down. Like that corpse at the end. Another good thing about this girl, a solid 10-minute corpse. Like a long time.
Good.
Like she lets you, goes into the fetal position.
Does she come by and massage your head?
No, and I'm very disappointed because you put that idea in my mind. Nobody ever does
You need to
that.
get your essential oils, massage the side of my head for at least 10 to 15 seconds.
You said the beautiful Maui yoga girl did that, right?
No, this one was in 30A.
Oh, this was 30A. Oh.
No, I want to say the Maui chick does too. She did that as well.
Yeah, I thought that's what you said.
Yeah, there's been 2 in my life. And you know what? As much as I fucking hate them for the class, if it's really hard, if she comes by and massages the side of my head for 10 seconds, I'm like, all right.
Head massage needs more appreciation. You know,
it's non-existent in America.
It doesn't make sense to me. You know, in Asia, they get this. Like, it's something that you should thoroughly savor. Like a good, long temple, doing all the...
Wash your hair. It's part of the washing and conditioning of the hair. But it's a 45-minute massage.
Dude, are you going to grow your hair out long again?
Yeah, probably.
You need to.
Yeah.
If you're going to go full on island, I'm pretty sure you got to have the long hair.
I got to figure out how to treat it to make it look halfway decent while it's growing out, because it'll go through stages looking like shit.
Well, I don't know if there's any avoiding that.
Yeah.
You know,
Let's figure that out.
Maybe you can cut it, cut it in a way that lets it grow long, but I don't really know, man.
I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah. It's amazing how slow your hair grows.
Well, I've been cutting it.
You have?
Yeah,
Oh,
you got to
okay.
kind of layer it.
Okay.
Because if not, it gets. You got to cut the sides.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's been going on. You got to go full local, man. That's the only way you're going to survive out
Way to
here.
blend in, man.
Yeah.
Try to blend in with these people out here.
This place is not a lot of white people, Well, actually, Waimea has got plenty of white people.
There's a lot here.
But, like, in that, what was that little town we went to by Waipio? You remember?
Hanaka'a.
That's a local sounding name. I was very aware that, this is very local.
Yeah.
They
do have
local.
a pool. That's all they have.
Yeah,
we went to the thrift stores. Sucked. Sucked.
It's a pool. I mean,
It's a fucking pool.
it's like
Somebody was in there doing something to it.
somebody was like vacuuming the bottom or
Removing
something.
the turd or something like that. Yeah, it's a pool, man. All right, I can deal with that.
We went to the thrift shop in that town. It was pretty sad.
Sad.
There was not much.
That's all right.
We definitely got to figure out what to do about prices. This place is expensive. Like,
I think we got the farmers market on Saturday and
we'll
Wednesdays.
see what that's like.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Costco.
you find your things to eat and you stick with it.
Yeah, that's how it is. I mean, we're doing that because we're trying to lose weight, Okay, I'm trying to lose weight. Chase is just trying to trim up, We got the Vitamix, but it'd be nice to have some of the veggies coming in.
We know our body type, dude. All right, we like to eat. For me, the only thing I know is to kill cardio, but there's got to be another way. I got to get in the pool. The yoga helps. I got to do new motions and shit like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to do yoga.
Why not? I love yoga. I've always liked yoga.
It's
I
painful.
don't mind going to it.
It's fucking painful for me. Some of those positions are exhausting.
It might be
excruciatingly.
What if it's
painful.
exactly what you need, though?
It is.
Yeah. Because, you've had some back pain.
It's mental wear, though, man. It's just like you're like, I never get excited. I'm like, fuck, there's yoga. Maybe if the chick's really hot teaching it, or if there's some good-looking women in the class, there's an inspiration.
Yeah.
But if not, it's always, fuck.
Isn't it amazing how beautiful people can change things?
Yes.
I know we all like to act like everyone's beautiful and everything like that.
The fucking models they have at those Targets and Walmarts, or they got these fat fucking women up there. I'm like, I'm not gonna buy these clothes. I'm not even gonna look at it.
Yeah.
I want to see someone beautiful wearing this shit.
Yeah. Even if you don't want to, think about it in the beauty spectrum, at least think about it in the healthy spectrum. You know what I mean? Surely you want, I still don't believe. Okay, tell me this. Do you think those clothes sell more because they have plus size women?
No. There's got to be a statistical
I'm
difference.
curious. I want to see what the data says. I want to see, okay, who sells more? The one with the beautiful model or the one with the fat model?
They're not tracking it. They're just like, this is the right thing to do.
Of course they're tracking it. How could they not be tracking it?
They wouldn't be tracking it.
Money is everything in America. They would have to be tracking it.
Not if morality comes into it.
I think it's more of they want the good boy points right now. The good girl points, right now. Because they have plus size models. That's why I shop there.
Am I the only one that it pisses off? I can't be the only one that pisses. I see these models of these obese fucking half man, half woman type things. And I'm like, what the fuck is this, man?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to see this shit.
I guess people really, I think what they said is, first of all, they're appealing to women, right? It's not meant to appeal to you.
No, nobody wants to appeal to me anymore.
I think really what advertising is all about is if you wear our product, you will feel good about yourself. Ultimately, that's what every ad says. You want to be happy? You need this. And I think that's sort of what they're trying to do.
I'm happy when I look good. I don't want to see some fat slob wearing what I'm supposed to wear.
We live in the fattest country in the Western world, man.
Probably indie world. I don't know about this Western.
I think there's some little islands in the Pacific with huge people, but we're huge. Huge. I ask a Chinese person, what's the first thing you think of when you think of Americans? Immediately, fat. And
you say, that's correct. That's very good. A for you. That's right.
It's the first thing they talk about. There's a whole WeChat thing dedicated to seeing Americans. They're just like, oh my God, can you see up? They didn't know they were this big. There's no such thing as a 300-pound person in China, I've never seen it.
I never saw it.
They got fat people.
Yeah.
But 300, like 400, like a scooter sort of thing. Let's face facts. These people are still buying products. As a matter of fact, they're the ultimate consumers because they're gluttons. You know, that's who you want to appeal to.
It feels like every area of my life's affected by it. You know, any fucking site or shit now has that ridiculous, hey, watch a sporting event, Black Lives Matter on the court. I got to read this shit. Or even on Yahoo, they took away the comments.
Oh man,
they took away the comments and they said you have to do a survey. I filled out that fucking survey. I was like, don't you dare take away these comments. This is the last bit of freedom left. Yes.
Wow.
It's very heartfelt.
There is nothing.
And it's going to go on deaf ears.
But there's no such thing as a truly free comment space anymore. Like back in the old days of the internet, just God, like Reddit in the old days when it was always the most upvoted comment that made it to the top. Oh man, it was unbelievable. YouTube used to be like that too. And it was always the quintessential like crowd truth, you know? So like, let's say you had a fat model. Like you remember the swimsuit, the big ESPN magazine swimsuit, Sports Illustrated, swimsuit edition, and they had the fat model.
Yeah, the Ashley Graham that they praise as this beautiful fucking pig.
She wasn't like I can understand it. Plus, she was big.
She's not attractive.
And anyway,
she's obese.
I'll never forget the Yahoo comments section. Just the number one quote is just a guy in all caps going, you know, ahoy. You know, I shall stabbeth thee, white whale. Yes. You know, like that sort of shit. And you know what? Like, I get it. It's offensive. But who cares?
It's entertaining.
Offensiveness is good.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got to have it, man.
That's when you learn the most about yourself, you know? I really do believe that. You find out what offends you, you've just learned an area you got to work on.
Well, that too. And, you know, you got to look at the form. We're not doing it directly to this person's face. You know what I mean? Basically, what you're saying is, look at this beautiful creature. And my brain is like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know, you started this.
Yeah.
You called that thing beautiful.
Yeah.
It's definitely not beautiful.
Yeah.
But that's the only reason I went to Yahoo. The stories are shit. They're wrote by these fucking horrific writers that have spelling errors most of the time.
The comment section. Dude, I bet they're going to like completely disappear. That's why people go.
I'm shocked by these.
Who's going to go to Yahoo anymore?
I won't.
Exactly. The only reason I ever went there is because I have an ancient email address from Yahoo. You know, like ancient. That sort of shit is the only reason I even look at those stories.
The only reason I get on Yahoo every morning is just to get a little riled up. That's my coffee. Like, oh, what the fuck?
You do.
And then you go to the comments, and then you feel better because you're like, oh, thank God, the world agrees with me.
Can I tell you something? That is a good feeling when you're like, yes, okay, good. I'm not crazy.
Yeah,
you're thinking,
but they're negating that.
You're just like mom in that regard. That's how she is with Fox News. She has to have her 5 minutes in the morning. She's like, can you fucking believe this?
Well, Dean, first off, I am not one as an extreme as our mom, but the times now where they have force-fed this shit down our throat.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what? We're going to take away the comments, too. You have to listen to this transsexual, bisexual, lesbian about her opinion on this. I'm like,
See, here's what I don't get, man. Where's the ACLU? Okay? Because, you know, the ACLU has defended, first of all, Larry Flint, Hustler magazine, on the grounds of free speech, but also the KKK. They argued that the KKK has a right to march because of freedom of speech. That is the, you know, when we're talking about civil liberties, your freedoms, that's what it's about. So where are they for the people who've lost their space on YouTube? How many people have you said just disappeared?
Oh, all the conservative channels.
What the fuck? You can't just do that. That's somebody's livelihood.
Some of the
they depend on that for like income and stuff.
Fucking conservative channels. You know, these people got maybe not even 1 million, but a couple 100,000. They got rid of. I had 3 of them on there. They're all gone.
Yeah.
These people just reported stats mostly.
I can't believe it, man.
They're just snuffing us out slowly but steadily. If we actually had views, this would probably get snuffed out too.
Here's what's the agenda? Why push this? What is it leading towards? Is it truly just incoherent babble, like it truly is just the insanity of the crowd? Or is there a reason everybody's pushing all of this nonsense? Exactly. I mean, it's one of those things that makes me conspiratorial. Because what I think they're really trying to do is just straight up make everybody exactly the same. Make sure everybody believes exactly the same things. And if you don't have the proper beliefs, then you're an outcast.
Thought police. It's that equity bullshit. It's like, let's even in the realm of thought. And it's just like, it's starting to piss me off a lot, man.
Yeah. It reminds me of the book I'm reading. This guy Kaufman, he wrote this fantastic book about DNA and psychology. And he's a DNA behavioralist. He was just on Sam Harris, fascinating podcast. His book's called Blueprint. But this guy, like he said, 70% of our personalities, 70%.
Genetic psychologist, right?
Yeah. 70% in our DNA. Okay? That's not just like, oh, your height. That's like your propensity to empathy, your intelligence level. That also speaks to, how prone you are to anger, stuff like that. And if that's the case, then guess what? People have a lot less control over who they are than you think. And if you keep trying to change people, it's not going to work, man.
No, you're gonna negate that 30%. Because we always thought it was what? I mean, 50-50, half and half. But if it truly is 70-30, being a psychologist, I've always felt that way. It's just like, you asked me earlier today, have you ever seen a change in anybody like 180? No. I've seen pivots.
Yeah.
Certain degrees. And it makes sense it falls within the 30% realm.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But these extreme shifts is, no, you can't think like that anymore. That's wrong. What?
It doesn't make sense.
That's not fat. That's beautiful. Excuse me?
Yeah.
You can't, it's not going to process.
It drives me crazy because whatever happened to discourse? I like a good argument. I like a discussion.
Well, you can't.
Yeah.
It's like that Black Lives Matter shit. They got the founder on video. We're Marxists. We're trained in it. We're here to topple over the government. We're here to destroy it. She's saying this.
Yeah.
Let's put it on the basketball court. Let's put it on the back of our jerseys. Like, what are you fucking doing, dude?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here, guys? This leads to nothing. It leads to this chaos shit. Rutgers University, black students, they don't need to spell as well. If they have spelling errors in their writing, it's okay. Hold them to a different standard. Are you serious, bro?
If I could show them how hard Chinese kids work on their English, where they literally have they can spell words like ostentatious and, all kinds of crazy words of never having an error. They spell better than me and shit like that as their second language. And you're telling me we don't have those same expectations for our own citizens?
I mean, I can't. I guess America eventually just fades into one of these mediocre countries or, almost a second tier. If we didn't have the military, I'm not too sure what we have.
Yeah, I mean, really, that's very true. Yeah. The military is what props up the United States in a big way. As a matter of fact, some countries have gotten so used to us having military bases there that it's like an economic boon for them. Like there was talk of closing down a base in Germany recently, and the Germans said, "Don't close it down," because like it was such a huge source of business, and it's also like, hey, Russia's right over on the other side. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where we have the military power, but democracies in history, they don't last very long. They just don't, Athens collapsed in on itself.
How long did they last?
Yeah, I don't know.
Can't remember either.
But basically, they had the war with Sparta, and
they lost, but they won.
It was that story. But it was interesting because their strategy was just like, let's just wait them out. We're not going to meet you on the field of battle. We'll control the seas because it was a port city, and they were doing just fine. But eventually, their kick-ass leader Pericles died. And they decided to invade Syracuse, and it was a total disaster. Their navy was destroyed, and the Spartans were like, now's the time. And that was it. Stupid decisions made by passionate people.
So what's the best type of government?
I don't know.
One philosophical king?
I mean, that's what Plato said, right? But, at the end, the one thing I really respect about Thomas Jefferson is his belief in the individual.
Yes.
Like, people should be responsible individuals. That's what we should work on. The government should not be the one that's in charge of keeping, people in line. People should themselves want to be good and virtuous.
Yeah, well, that was with Rogan and Shapiro yesterday, because Rogan's got a little soft, but Shapiro's big argument is just like, look, individual responsibility, and Rogan's just like, you have to do something for these groups of people. I'm like, stop.
Yeah.
We have. It's just like, it's so, because that's all psychology is. It's the individual level. Essentially, that's all it is as well. Stop grouping people together in groups and making these ridiculous claims about all this shit. Just that's what it is.
Yeah.
Give us the civil freedoms back, man.
Yeah. The problem
Give
is,
me my comments back on Yahoo.
Dean,
I don't get my fix in the morning.
I know, man, but people are afraid. It's like y'all talked about. One of the great existential questions that people wrestle with is freedom. Can you truly handle freedom?
Well, because
to say whatever you want, to listen to whatever you want, to do whatever you want.
Because now they're restricting it. Now, the second part of that is the responsibility. It's like, look, when you start putting rules on this, there's responsibility that comes along with that.
Yeah.
In tune means that it's going to come for you as well.
Right.
It's just, they don't understand this shit, man. It just leads to destruction. All this cancel shit. It's circular.
Yeah, I agree, man. Dark days for the United States of America.
Oh, at least we're in the middle. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, well, there are good news, though. You remember the Covington kid?
Oh, yeah.
Fucker got $250 million. Can
you imagine that? You're smirking. You're smirking at an indie and you get $250 million. We got to do something like that. We got to get some liberal on here and piss them off and get some kind of hedge like
goes
that.
In two directions, baby.
$250 million? He probably won't see all of that, but he'll never have to work again.
But do you remember, he got crucified?
There was celebrities saying we need to whoop this kid's ass. Yep. It's just like, what the fuck is wrong with this world, man? Yep. Seriously.
It's just, we're too emotional. I feel like
I've become emotional lately.
Yeah, well, it's because you keep reading that fucking story. I can't read it, man. I can take a dose.
They got rid of my comments. That's what pissed me off.
Yeah, but it's just seriously, what happened to just being rational? Where it's just, okay, what are the facts?
Dean, it was a ridiculous story, and then you could read it, and you're like, this is crazy. And then the comments be like, oh, thank you. I feel normal. Now it's not there. So now it's just ridiculous stories.
There's got to be some place on the web where this shit still thrives. There has to be. I just don't know where it is.
Kind of give up. Just be quiet.
I guess so.
It is creating the silent majority, like you said.
You think so? Do you think Trump's going to win?
Not at this point.
The polls look terrible for him.
But who can say you support Trump?
No one.
That would be career suicide.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it really is true. It sucks that our dichotomy is Biden or Trump. Those are the only two options you have. What the fuck? That shows you what's wrong with democracy. How come those are the two choices? Why isn't it some, amazing academic?
Where are they at, man?
Yeah, how about, what if there was a guy like Sam Harris who was going to take office? A super intelligent guy.
That'd be interesting.
Who is super data-driven and rational. And you knew that his morality was purely driven by that. Man, that's intense.
Or they wouldn't like where it lead.
In ancient Greece, you know how they did offices? Lot. It was luck. So every citizen had to participate.
Oh, yeah?
So, yeah, they would draw out of a lottery bin, and you might be in charge of the farms that year, in charge of the taxes, or in charge of whatever.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Well, the idea was that everybody had to be so thoroughly educated in a well-rounded way that anyone could take up the position.
That's definitely not us.
It's still interesting, because it means if there's no elections, it's just, hey, it's random.
Well,
then there's not much chance for corruption.
If they've got Harris on there, and it really is true about the 70%, first thing he'd impose is eugenics.
Pretty much, man. It is interesting, because I don't think I fully understand eugenics. I don't think I do, because
what are they doing in China, though, man? You've told me they're taller, they're smarter, they're doing something over there. They're not just naturally going 6 inches.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, but I can tell you this. I've looked at their test scores and stuff like that. They're off the charts.
Yeah.
My kids got their SATs back, off the charts. They were all top tier. top tier kids. You know, I mean, I'm at an international, very prestigious school, but still, that's the sort of thing where you're just like, what's going on here? You know, that's the other thing. This guy talked about education, and he said, really, there's not that much of a difference between good schools and bad schools, good schools and mediocre schools. He said, the problem is the good schools, they do these tests to get kids in. They only take the good students. You know, if the good student stayed in the other school, because genetically speaking, you're more prone to be a good student, you're more intelligent, you're more whatever, then they would have done just as well. You know, the school really doesn't matter. The teacher doesn't really matter. The curriculum doesn't really matter. The good kids, the smart kids, they always do pretty well, you know? And that is so counterintuitive to everything you learn in education. I mean, that is like blasphemy 101, and yet the data is confirming it, you know? Like, yeah, there's still that little bit, that 30%, but smart kids are smart kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coping skills mostly in that 30% realm.
Yeah.
Teach you to handle things a little better, and okay, I can understand this, but this is kind of how I am.
But think about what that means in terms of all the programs and shit like that you do for people. You know what I mean? Like, oh, if only we have money for this, if only we have this program, if only this was provided, if only this, then everything would change. Everybody would be on equal footing. Everybody would be in. No.
It's never going to be like that.
No, it's just, in the end, it's your DNA. That's what's determining who you are and how your brain works. And man, that's powerful. It changes how you look at all the political issues, you know, because you're just like, this isn't even about changing people. It's about getting people to adapt to who they are, you know?
Well, that too, and to stop popping out kids with random people, you know? It's just like, oh, it's time to have a baby. Like, if you're going to have time to have a baby, you better be more selective with who you're having a baby with. You know what I mean?
Hence, healthy people, right? You don't want to have a big fat lady, do you? You know?
Or just mentally stable, or someone with a brain, man.
That was another thing. He was talking about fat people on there. He was saying that, like, really fatness is totally in the DNA. He's like, we see this in adopted kids, like where they're adopted as an infant and their parents are fat. And even though their parents are super healthy and have the best diets and all that, the kids still have a higher BMI.
Yeah.
You're just like, whoa, that's shocking.
Yeah.
And yet, it's a reality.
I would never do it. I would never adopt a kid. I'd
Yeah.
be terrified.
It's a real roll of the dice. I mean, I get it. It's a noble thing to do. It's a real noble thing to do.
Yeah, great.
But still, like that is...
No way.
It's really tough.
What even, dude, even adopting like an older pet, to me, that's the same thing. It's like, I don't think I could do it.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, these things deserve love from the people who are doing that. But everybody has their role. But there was a time when I was in Auburn, I had a chance to work at a mental hospital because of your inspiration. Oh, my God. And I was at like a halfway house for... like wardens of the state, people that were too mentally like retarded or mentally ill to like, but their families were too poor to put them in a home, you know? And I remember like first day on the job, I go there and they've got somebody pinned on the ground. They're just going, yeah. And they're just calm down, Billy, calm down, you know? And there's just people in there. And anyways, there was a guy named Otis. And Otis.
That's a good Alabama name.
Oh, man. Otis. We were all going to see a movie. This is like 3 days in. And everybody's in the van except for Otis, who's in the bathroom. And they're like, Dean, go get Otis. I'm like, okay. I go, knock on Otis. You in there? He's like, I'm not ready. And I'm like, Otis, you got to go, man. You've been in there a long time. There's no locks on the door, you know, and stuff like that. You come in. And I'm like, Otis. And I will open up the door and just whack, right in the chest is a big sloppy turd.
He hits you
and
with
it
it?
just slid right down.
No.
Yeah. And I remember just staring at it like for a while, like watching it slide down, turning around, going straight to the manager and saying, I can't do this. I'm sorry.
Let's quit.
But the reason I tell this story is because she says, you either do this work, you were born to do this work, or you're not. Like the people who work with the retarded, usually like they are meant to do it. You know what I mean? They got a feel for those people, like the people who adopt older dogs.
Well, but
they're those kind of people.
But they're of the mindset that with love and care, we can change this individual. So to have that information with what the stats say would be crushing to them, and maybe they just choose not to accept it.
But maybe they have the DNA that's more empathetic than you and I. You know what I mean?
Sure.
They're like, that is their calling in life. They're caregivers of that kind. You
Right.
know?
But to think they can take someone in and that they're going to effectively put their mindset into theirs.
Yeah.
You got a very small percentage of doing that, buddy.
It is interesting. Like in education, there's always like the teachers. You just have to show them love. Every day, I greet my kids with a high five and I tell them, you are special and you are beautiful. You know, and you're just like, that does nothing.
What, like you said, it might work for the people that are built like her.
It might give them like a little maybe joy, but you know what? Like again, 70% is in the DNA.
Well, you know, I'm thinking of trainers or particularly people we ran into, like people that are always optimistic. Completely, I'm repelled by them because I'm like, it can't be authentic. It can't be. You know?
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't feel like there's a moment of humanity in them. It's always a great day, a beautiful day. I'm like, yeah, I love that. But like not every fucking second of every day, I don't want to be around you, man.
So it was interesting because this guy was talking about fat people, right? And he's like, just because your DNA says you're supposed to have a higher BMI, that doesn't mean you're going to be fat. He said, what it means is like, you're more susceptible and therefore you have to work against it harder than others.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And I think it's the same for people like that. Like I imagine people who are super ultra every second optimistic, I bet they're probably very prone to negative thinking.
I think so.
You know, probably maybe.
Or at least the ones in therapy. I can't speak for all of them.
But prone to depression, and that is their adaptation to
overcompensate.
The adaptation to the way their DNA mind has kind of unfolded.
Yeah.
You know, and I know this because I can see my parents in me, you know. Like our dad is very prone to like very emotional depression that can bring him really to like almost cripple him. You know what I mean? And I can feel that come in me sometimes, like that same powerful emotion that just cripple. And you know that awareness of this is how my brain works helps me as a person. And I think people need to be thinking more like that. They need to sequence their genomes and find out what precisely the genes within them are doing. You know?
Again. Hence the self-care and self-knowledge of the individual.
Right.
You know, instead of this group think that this group of people needs to do this, or as a whole, we need to do this. It's just, it don't work, man.
Yeah, I agree. This is the world we live in, though. So
it's suffocating.
Yeah. You think you'll find a lady out here on the Big Island?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to.
Yeah. I'm already, you know, I'm hoping something will happen. It's been too long. It's been months. This coronavirus has destroyed my game, man. You know?
No, it's not even the game. Look, if we can go on dates, I'm speaking for myself. Meet the chicks, I'm in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 90+% of the time, it's
Sure.
it's easy once the conversation starts. It's setting up the profile, like the online thing. I've never liked. Always done better meeting chicks in the gym, at the grocery store. I haven't seen one up here.
What are you talking about in the gym? I didn't see you do anything in that Maui gym. And
No.
There were beautiful women in there.
Oh no, but dude, every one of them was with a guy, Dean.
Were they?
Yes.
I think so.
Come on.
I'm thinking of that trio then. They were definitely like.
Yes. When did you see a hot chick
duo
working out by
fucking
herself? They're always in couples.
Were they?
Oh.
I guess so. We
Yeah.
went at different times. I was the morning crew.
You got to make a good online profile. You got to have good pics.
That's very important. You know, I took some pics of you today when we were on the
We need to
beach.
work on that because we're not
You should
photogenic people.
You should get some beach pics. And you should always show the body. Always.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? You should.
Vain.
Yes. But cool vein. You know what I mean? Like it should be you playing volleyball. You know? Like, yeah, serious. I am so serious right now. It should absolutely be like that.
There's an art to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a buddy, he's completely broken it down. Every single photo, he is doing something in a cool place. You know what I mean? He's boating in the Philippines. He's having some kind of super interesting meal. You know, he's like on top of a tower, you know. He's laughing with a bunch of friends. He has a picture of his mom. He has a picture of him smiling with his mom, and he's like, it's really important to have that. I was like, what? And he's like, yeah. I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, they need to see the family.
It's actually true, man. It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to think about this stuff, Chase.
These are good things.
Come on, man.
You're right. I'm a novice when it comes to that. Those are good points.
Let's take some beach photos. I'm excited to go back to that beach.
I think that's an interesting backdrop right here, man. You could use this, you know, on a cloudless day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Somehow for a background shot.
You'd have to be doing something.
I have to have a suit on.
Like looking out
Well,
pensively.
yeah, man. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Well, we'll try it.
Yeah, you can do it, I'm sure. It's just a matter of like you gotta take a day. Just dedicate it just to photos.
Yep.
I had a buddy of mine, good old Levi. I was like getting my LinkedIn shit together. And he was like, you got to get like professional photos. And I was like, what are you talking about? Who cares about that? He's like, no, with like a profile, it needs to look good and shit. And I was like, okay. So he got his buddy who's super into like photography, and we took some pics, and they looked good. Like it elevated, and people started upticking my thing more. You know, I think that stuff matters. You don't think about that.
Think about what again?
Photos, man.
Oh,
Like good looking photos.
Well, dude, that's the hard thing with us. Like, we're beautiful people, but as far as the photos go, it's very difficult to get that going.
I've never been photogenic, and that's why I don't. Oh, hey, hold on, pause.
It's the neighbor. It's the landlord. He's dropping off the garage thing. He's super local cat.
We just got our garage door opener.
What's our timing at? How long we got?
We got 40 minutes. You want to stop?
No, we can keep going.
Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. We're still, freshly moved in here, man.
I was gonna say my morning routine always revolves Rimworld.
Oh yeah, Rimworld.
Yeah, you turned me on to that. It's just this. It's just like a survival game on a planet. It's real basic graphics.
Okay.
But you can do anything.
Okay. So
I watch every morning. There's 2 episodes. I start my morning. You know,
there's
it's
so much to talk about.
You got to
here.
kill this colonist. It's
so
great,
okay. Let's give the scenario for the game. So here's the scenario for the game. Like the idea is you crash land on like a planet that's just like on the outside of civilization, like the edge of the galaxy where it's just criminals and it's backwards and it's just death all around, and you got to survive. And it's like hardcore survival. Anything can happen in Rimworld, you know?
Yeah.
Like people try to raid you. There could be like you could die of heat stroke or freeze to death or starve to death. If you can like harvest people's organs, like there's all kinds of horrible shit.
So good. You're like, oh, we got to get her medical up. Let's take this guy's arm off just for practice.
So,
you know?
It's just war crimes across the board, you know?
Yeah.
But how we got turned on to it is there's this guy on YouTube.
German.
Yeah, Pete Complete. So Pete he is so German. He's like the picture of German in my mind.
He is the what they were aiming for with the Nazi program.
Probably, yeah. Man. He speaks almost perfect English, but it has just the slightest accent.
Well, you know he's German, but it's English is better than mine.
Yes, he is so efficient. Like he plans everything out. Like, and he does stuff like, I'm going to survive with no mods on an ice sheet.
It's completely flat affect.
Yeah,
There's never an emotional harp. It's always consistent, just smooth, in control. And we had to kill this colonist, but we will take his brain and sell it for parts. You're like, okay, all right,
He's
cool. I love how he sounds.
He's unbelievable.
He cuts it too, so you don't have to watch.
Totally edited.
Cuts the boring shit out.
His only problem is he doesn't post enough.
He doesn't post
That's the problem. He's like once every 2 weeks. It's awful.
Pissing me off. I always post and he never responds to my comment bitching about it.
Why you do post? I gotta admit, when you take the time to post, it must be something special. You know, because it's rare, but you do it sometimes. Sometimes he'll leave reviews for stuff, and that's always the best. The Chase review, you know, like he tells you how he really feels. Man. Yeah. I'm thinking of the poke in Vietnam.
Oh, yeah, we got a free meal out of that.
Yeah,
we did.
The guy responded.
He was upset.
Yeah.
He was like, hey, man, you know, it's tough business. I was like, you fucking put out a better product, man.
But your point was totally valid.
Yeah.
So the place had a small bowl. You can't do that with poke, man. No. You're paying premium. You want to have the full meal, you know? Today, we went to a Korean place. We got that, what's it called? Bim Boom Bop, you know, or whatever.
That's exactly what it's called.
And it was just big portion. Just
That's America.
You know?
They give you a meal, and I'd say a third usually. That's
why we're fat people.
That's why we're fat people. But that guy in Vietnam, you ate it, and you're like, I'm still hungry.
I'm still a little hungry.
Yeah, and if you're it's a good product, but you weren't given enough, man.
Yeah.
And that pissed me off.
It was and he said, come by. Give you another bowl.
He did. And I was still hungry, but I got a free meal.
Hey, you can't say no to that sort of thing.
No, you can't.
There's other things too, like you're not afraid to let people know,
Yeah. Yeah, anger's been coming back since I came to America, probably because of all the nonsense going around, but that's a good thing.
You think so?
Yes.
Why?
It's just been a huge part of my personality my whole life. I guess playing football, you could act out. Our mom's very visceral like that.
You were an angry kid for sure. There was a lot of anger with Chase.
So Asia definitely helped me temper that.
Mellow out?
Yes.
Yeah.
But to the point, especially combined with the job where it just goes, you're just kind of sitting with it. And it's just like, nah, this doesn't feel quite right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. I think that like feelings, having a good diverse set of feelings that are under control is a good thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Like you have the occasional just tear run down the cheek, and
that's right.
And it's a good hearty laugh.
When's the last time you had a tear?
Oh, it happens to me a lot.
Really?
Yeah. Usually music. Like sometimes I'll be at the gym listening to music and it'll just hit my heart.
What are you thinking about?
What was I'm trying? I got it. I'll tell you one that always gets. Sometimes I have in my liked playlist, I have the last speech from 300. And I'll listen to that, and I'll just be like, oh, as I'm going along in my elliptical, Leonidas, and but sometimes just music gets you going, man. Sure. Like you feel sometimes like I get really epic shit in my mind. So I've been listening to a lot of Japanese music lately, like cool gun sings mixed in with like drums, but it's modern and electric and shit like that. And I just imagine these epic like samurai Musashi sort of films, where like it's just epic in every way. And there are those moments where it's like the final scene and they're going toe to toe, and he's got like his arm chopped off, but he's still about to fight. He's still going, and stuff like that. And it just, there's these perfect slashes, and the moon is glistening in the grass and all this sort of stuff. And I'm just in my mind thinking of this, and it's just like, it's a true warrior. Touching
moment, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird because like sometimes violence can like really touch me.
Dude, yeah.
You talk about that Viking show, right? The Ragnar guy?
Yeah.
Were there a couple moments in that show where you were just like, fuck?
I truly believe he was Ragnar in a past life.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying it was the best show I've ever seen, but him playing that character, he gave a couple speeches where it's just, he gave two speeches, one after his daughter dies when he's talking to her alone at the lake, and another one when his buddy dies. Again, he's talking alone, and it's just like, oh my God.
Gets you.
Yeah. But I was going to say the last time I had a tear was when it involved violence, but it was with the UFC. It was when they had it in China, and the Chinese chick won the title because you could feel the whole country just, and just, I was just like, damn, dude, it was powerful.
That's a great example, dude.
Yeah.
Olympics.
Yes,
That's emotion, man.
Opening ceremonies in Japan coming up. 2020 would have been cool.
Can't wait.
Oh my God. They better have it next year. That'll be fucking unbelievable.
The world needs it. We need something to watch. We need some sports.
The Japanese are the perfect country they will kill it.
Yeah.
They have the richest, the best culture in the world, at least historically. Mm-hmm. With the stories they got, they're going to fucking do it beautifully.
I can't wait.
Oh man.
I love the opening ceremony.
They better not delay that shit again. It pissed me off.
What did you think of the Chinese opening
I
ceremony?
thought it was incredible.
It was
it's
unbelievable.
The best thing I've ever seen
it was unbelievable.
I think the Japanese will beat it.
Maybe one of the greatest countdowns ever. Where they're doing the drums.
It was unbelievable.
Oh man, so cool.
Probably one of the greatest shows I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, man. But that's what the Olympics is all about. It's about celebrating it.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck is America gonna do if we have the Olympics? We'll have to have every single minority will have an entire section of the show where they'll be like, this is just about black people, and this is about Mexican people, and this is about white people and Native American people, and there will be no unity at all. There will be no such thing as America.
I think the choreographed person that'll do it will fuck it up.
Oh yeah,
completely.
They'll be like the torch will be brought out by a trans athlete.
Black Lives Matter will be the main theme, and it's just we'll completely fuck it up.
Really.
You know what? Just let Jordan do it. You know,
Yeah.
just put him out there and put him on top.
But it's a shame though, because like I've never been big on competition. Like competition's always been difficult for me because I've never had a good attitude towards it. I've always been a sore loser, you know. But it's interesting because, man, the Olympics is the best competition. Like the best parts of competition where like everyone loves it. Everyone buys into it. And those moments when you feel whole countries collectively celebrate or collectively have their hearts shattered, you know, like it's just, there's nothing else like it.
It was cool.
It's amazing.
Well, that's interesting on your competition comments. For me, I felt that way with teams. I was like, God, I'm so prepared, yet we lost because they exploited our weak link on this fucking team, which I knew, which has always been there, you know?
Yeah, football would be like that.
So I like the individual aspect.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of another time. I was actually down in Colombia studying. This was in 2016, I guess, for the Brazil Olympics. And they had this power lifter from Colombia who was doing it over the head.
Yeah.
And he was in the finals, and the Chinese guy got really high. And he's like, all right, he's got one lift left. And I was in a cafe. Everybody from the street came in, and they're just all, God, there was, the Colombians, man, they're getting into
Hell
this
yeah.
shit. And he's like, ah, and he gets it up, and they all fucking go crazy. They're hugging each other, they're kissing each other, and he's like falls on his knees and he's crying.
Oh yeah,
it was beautiful, man. It was so cool. I think I even got a hug from somebody. They thought I was Colombian, which is cool,
dude. Absolutely,
it was such cool to see that little country win a gold. Man.
It's like that. Can you imagine being the dude from a country? You know, like fucking Conor McGregor in Ireland. You know, like, can you imagine what an Irish pub must have been like when he knocked out Aldo?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. It's the coolest moments, man. Everybody unites. That's community, man. There's no unity. There's no community anymore. Like, we need an MJ. We need a Tiger. We need somebody who's just so fucking awesome and American that it doesn't matter if you're black or white or whatever. You just want to watch him.
One that abstains from the politics that says, hey, Republicans buy sneakers too.
Like Michael Jordan.
Fuck yeah.
Like
man.
Mike, man.
Dude, seriously. Because it ain't LeBron. Fucking bitch.
Is there anybody coming up? Are there any freaks or anything like that?
Not articulate. Yeah.
It disappoints me.
Maybe one day, Dean.
Maybe, maybe the Olympics will show us.
Hope so. We got a while till then.
They say next year. Yeah.
Summer.
What do you think they'll do it with no crowd?
Stop that. The vaccine will be out.
That would be horrible.
We'll have plenty of money. And
Can't have the Olympics without a crowd.
I'll tell you what, if we made money on this podcast and you could go, I would be there.
Oh,
I would be wearing my Japanese shirt, whatever I got to do. Oh, the finals for the gymnastics, hot ticket.
Yeah.
That I'd love to see, and I'd love to go to the track, like 100 meter.
Yeah.
The mile would be great.
Yeah.
Any of those final races for the track would be awesome.
My buddy Scott turned me on to female gymnastics. He's gay.
Dude, I like
surprise.
watching the swimming too.
But dude, the female gymnastics, I had no idea how intense it was. Like it's the sort of thing where you make one mistake and you're done.
It's hard to watch because you can feel the pressure.
You feel the
you're just like
there was a great one in the Brazil Olympics where it was the beam final and the Americans have this girl Simone Biles, the little black chick, who was fucking powerful, like just terrifyingly powerful. No other gymnast can do the shit she does because she's so powerful.
A muscular freak.
She's a fucking freak. Her legs are just trees, But anyways, she's supposed to win everything, but she has no grace. You know what I mean? It's all power and tumbling, but she doesn't have like the Russians and the Chinese have like this super graceful, artistic sort of style and stuff. But it's the beam final. She's expected to win, and she falls.
I saw that, yeah.
She
won the overall, though.
She won everything else, but you could tell she was fucking furious. Like the look on her face. But anyways, it was an open competition, and anybody could have got it. And this Holland girl, man, Sonia Wevers, she comes up. She's Holland, little bitch country in Europe. and she does the most exquisite, beautiful routine. I mean, just nails it to the point where everybody's just like, you know, like, and she totally nails the landing, and she knows she fucking got it. She took it. Nobody expected anybody to win that competition. She got the fucking gold for Holland. Like, just, oh, it was a great moment, man.
It's a beautiful moment.
We need more stuff like that.
Yeah.
Need some competition. Hey, the fights that are coming up, who's fighting?
There's good cards tomorrow, man.
Who's going?
Whitaker, Till. That may be
Till's
good.
coming back. Whitaker
Gustafsson.
has disappointed me lately.
Maybe
Gustafsson against who?
he's going to heavyweight. He's fighting Verdum, the ex-champ. I mean, it should be some good fights.
Gustafsson.
Gustafsson.
He fucking disappointed me.
He's weak mentally.
I thought that second John Jones fight, I thought he was gonna be a contender. He got his ass handed to him.
Ass handed to him.
And I was like, man, I watched that first fight. You could have done it, man.
You were literally just this close.
He got so close. What happened?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Like, it's so difficult to understand how fighters work. I don't understand like why they have ups and downs.
But I mean, you got to think about that. To get your ass kicked, to lose, not just all right, you beat me today, you knocked me out.
Yeah,
that's just does something to somebody. You know, that's hard to get. If you got your ass kicked in school, it'd be hard to go to school the next day.
There's one thing I want to talk about with the UFC. Holloway, man, like. So Max Holloway, who he just had a fight, like he Hawaiian guy, so everybody here in Hawaii wants him to win, all that sort of stuff. He lost a real. Who did he lose to before this last one? Like
same guy.
It was the same guy.
Same guy.
He got this one stolen from him.
He did.
Like even Dana White admitted to it, and I was like, that's got to be soul crushing.
That to lose your title and then to train to come back and you beat the guy 3-2.
Yeah,
95% of people saw it 3-2.
Yeah.
And so now you don't get another shot. That's it.
It's fucked up.
It was fucked up. But, you know, I mean, yeah, it's fucked up.
That's why this UFC thing is so tricky to me. I don't understand it.
They should have more judges. They should have like 5 judges.
They should have ex-fighters as judges, you know?
Yeah.
Why not have people who actually know the game?
Because it's all board regulated on the judges,
Or
man.
how about sudden death? You know, why not just, okay, nobody, another round. We're doing another round, you know?
They did that in Pride where they had 2 rounds.
Yeah.
First round's 10 minutes, second round's 5.
Yeah.
If it was 1-1, you have a third.
Okay.
I like that. But in a championship fight, you got 5 rounds.
Well,
I say 5 judges. Why not?
Okay. Yeah, sure. I
You
mean,
probably negate that shit.
the more the better.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, less opportunities for corruption. You know?
Right. Shit.
I bet they could make some big money on some of those.
Probably
know?
could.
I always wondered, you remember that Tim Donahue? The NBA
Oh, yeah.
ref?
Yeah.
Whoa.
That never got enough attention. You know how easy it is to throw a fucking NBA game or a
Dude.
basketball game? Foul.
Have you ever watched the videos of him, like, officiating games? You ever seen it? Oh, man, we got to watch that. He's just calling them. Just like in the last 5 minutes, he'll call like 10. Just, and they're all like, what? There's nothing there. And they're like, personal foul, arguing with the ref. And you're just like, oh, my God. And they would lose.
That's why I stopped watching NFL games, Dean. I mean, literally, like a guy would brush the pad of a quarter into the game. They have so many rules now that if you wanted to pay a ref, I watched playoff teams lose games. Like that team was not the better team. Now they're the Super Bowl champion.
So can you still sack?
You can, but you can't lead with your helmet.
Okay.
If you touch the quarterback's helmet, it's a 15-yard penalty. You know? It's insane shit. You can't touch a receiver anymore. You used to be able to jam him for the first. You can't touch him anymore. You can call anything.
They're trying to neuter
There's another
us.
Donahue for the NFL. Somebody's getting paid like, hey, man, make sure the Patriots,
Have you
they
seen
win.
it? Have you seen like calls that you're just like, there's no way.
That's why I don't watch the NFL. Wow. I can't do it anymore. Even teams I'm not invested in, I'm like, this is so ticky-tack. It's just like, I guess he felt like throwing a flag.
Yeah.
They're doing it to the sports too, man. They're killing my sports. I can't say what I want to say anymore. I have to think a certain way and I have to support stupid fucking movements like Black Lives Matter, man. It's ridiculous.
Listen, This is what the podcast is about. You're bringing it back, Chase. Freedom of speech. We can speak your mind. Only the Divine Brothers have this. Only the Divine Brothers have the calling to speak.
We're speaking from the clouds.
We're speaking from the clouds atop the middle of the world, in the middle of the ocean, all the way in Waimea, baby.
That's right.
All right, shall we call it there?
Yes.
That's an hour on the dot.
Boom.
Boom. Bye.